We always say it's amazing how quickly time goes by. Here we are a year later, and I'm very, very pleased to be sitting down once again with our annual Trader of the Year winners, Stuart and Jill Garrett. We're down here in Canberra, and once again, we're going to be hearing how their process, their consistency, and their discipline have helped elevate them above the kind of returns that most people expect from the market. Make sure you take plenty out of this interview. It's going to be an absolute ripper. So here we are, 1 year on from last year, 2023 Traders of the Year, and here we are again, 2024. Stuart and Jill Garrett down here in Canberra. Many congratulations, guys. Consistency, discipline, process, all things we're going to explore, I'm sure, in this conversation. But massive congratulations on being our back-to-back winners for Trader of the Year.
Thanks very much, Andrew. Really appreciate it. It's been a great year, and we're very honoured and humbled to be here again. Thank you very much.
Well, let's dive in and find out a bit about the year and what it's had to say.
Sounds great.
Okay, so here we are, guys. We're a year down the line, and how fast time goes by, it almost feels like deja vu, but a very well-deserved pair of candidates is all I can really say. Congratulations again for back-to-back Trader of the Year awards. Absolutely phenomenal achievement, guys.
Wow.
Thank you.
Okay. I thought, yes, that's a...
Well, you thought we were just coming down for a general chat, did you?
Yes, I thought that was the... yeah, okay, that's amazing. Thank you very much.
And I think part of the most important thing on here is the fact that what we're looking at is repeatable results over time. And we'll dive into a little bit about your journey as we go in, but financial success isn't about one good investment. It's not about one good year. It's about backing that up. And I guess process and discipline to follow that process are key. So if we turn back to last year, first of all, and I know you don't like talking about results per se, and that's it's not a false modesty, it's genuine for sure. 432 grand of bank profits, shade over 17% for the year, cracking return. Compares pretty well to your average super fund, which I think was about 11.4 for the year. So I guess it's one of the reasons why more and more people should consider managing their own money. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you take us as an example, it's not that hard to do. It's something which you can, I think, if you're prepared to do some research and contact companies like yourself, the rewards are there if you want to put the effort into it. And the efforts are not onerous. Sure, there's a bit of learning. It's very intimidating at first to get started. But once you get your toe in the water and you get going, and then you understand what you're doing and you follow down the path, and you guys have got excellent paths that you can follow down, there's no doubt about that, then I think the rewards are there to be gathered.
I mean, one of the things we obviously espouse as an organization is, when the process is right, the results always follow, and moving that emotion out of it is key. The decision to pull into markets to deploy money on those torrid days when the screen is red and the news is just spewing out negativity is like running into a burning building.
It is.
Psychologically, how do you get yourself to do that?
Well, because we now look at these as buying opportunities, we don't see these as a bad thing necessarily. I mean, clearly your whole portfolio is reducing in value, but at the same time, opportunities are being presented. And so this is what we're looking for. We're looking for the opportunities that come up, the good quality shares, the shares which we would like to add to our portfolio. And we say, where is a good entry price for that particular share? And then we'll put the orders in.
And buy it at a discount effectively to where it was.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Psychologically, it's so important to have that discipline just to go. And I love the idea of relabeling it, that this isn't a problematic day. It's actually the day we want, so we can get our money back in from lower levels and working harder for us.
Well, for us, January was our second best January we've ever had. So it was a phenomenal result for us.
Yeah, that's the opposite to the way that most people would be playing the game. So you banked, about 140 or so grand in January?
That's right, 144 grand in January.
Well,
so that was a nice month.
Yeah, that's an understatement, I think, for most people, particularly as self-funded retarees.
Risk is a big consideration for us. I'm always looking at risk aspects, and so I've tried to diversify to reduce risk that way. And the US is obviously a huge market, so you want to have some exposure or a reasonable exposure to the US market. So we segment our portfolio, and I keep tabs on how much percentage I've got in each of these various portfolios, including overseas and the US, and we gain that through ETFs. And they're as easy to buy as an Australian share. You can buy an ETF in the US market or the European market or thematics as easily as you can buy BHP or Coles. So it's great.
So let's talk about the Trump tariffs. That was a period of pretty extreme volatility in the market. Yes. And not just so much a tariff. So tell me about April 10th. I'd say it was a pretty good day for your portfolio.
It was an extremely good day. In fact, I think I spoke with Mitch Mitch called me that day, as it turned out, and I was just ecstatic with the results that I sent you an email that night.
So, I mean, that was about $205,000 of profit banked in one day.
On the opening bell. So that was a very impressive morning for us. Best bar none.
And retirement for you guys, if we can spin into what $205,000 really means. So you guys are enjoying a life of travel and liberty of what you do, which is richly deserved. I mean, this is not an overnight success. Sure, $205,000 in a single day is great, but you guys have been investing for many, many years to get to where you have. Did you ever expect to be in this position financially?
Never. I mean, I set a goal a long time ago to reach a certain milestone, but we've exceeded that many times already. But money sort of changes its value as you achieve more of it. I think you also change your lifestyle expectations as well. So now we sit in a different part of the plane to what we used to. Yep. The hotels we stay in are quite different. The cars we drive are nicer.
What advice would you give someone if they were contemplating, for example, setting up a self-managed super fund?
Well, I think there's a minimum amount you require to do this. There's certainly a certain amount of education you need to do it as well. Like if you're looking to get into something like shares through your self-managed super fund, which is obviously what we do a lot of. So there's an educational aspect, but if you've got that, or if you contact AIE, for example, to get that education and the support that's available through the team, I'd say give that a go. It's certainly something to consider. Don't be frightened of it. There's costs associated with it. There's no question of that. You'll need an accountant. But the rewards are certainly, the rewards are there.
So one of the things that people sort of in their own mind as an obstacle think, oh, if I manage my super, I can't ever have a break away from the market. In reality, you guys travel a lot. What does it take to be on the road and traveling and still managing money?
Well, we obviously have to take a laptop with us. We have to have an internet link. These days with Starlink, you can get access anywhere, as we just did in the Whitsundays on a yacht. And when you've got those two things, you've got complete access to what you have when you're at home. You can set up like what we do. It takes minutes a day to identify the shares that you want to buy or sell. Jill puts them in when she can. We do it in a way that doesn't take us hours and hours at a time.
In terms of support and the tools that you lean on that Australian Investment Education provide, how would you describe them? How would you rate them in your experience?
Excellent. Without any hesitation, excellent. The daily briefs that are provided, the weekly look ahead, the midweek sessions, the weekly podcasts, the training notes, phenomenal. Yeah, really, really good.
In terms of legacy, you guys obviously have children and grandchildren, and I'm not suggesting for a moment you're about to drop off the perch, but in terms of legacy, in terms of leaving your kids, what do you see as being more important, leaving them some money or leaving them this set of skills so that they can live life on their terms and have a machine that works for them?
Yeah, I think having skills is far more important than having money, because you can make money if you have skills, but having money doesn't necessarily give you skills. So I think that's why I think education, and I keep harping back to this, I know, but I think education, analysis, thinking through issues is so important, and that's what you guys do great. You do a great job at that, and I'm very thankful for that.
In summary, if we look at your results for 2024 specifically, so we've got an objective benchmark to compare it to. You guys dropped around about 17% profit, 432 grand for the year. The average from the super industry was 11.4% for the year. So another year of significant outperformance. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it wasn't something we set out to achieve. It's just something that I think that happens when you follow a process, and I think that's one of the secrets to what we do, quite possibly, and that's we have processes and we just follow them religiously. So, and one of the nice things about doing that, you don't have to think too much about other things. You can sort of get straight in and do it, and then move on to doing whatever else it is you'll like to do. So obviously generating the wealth that you get from this is a means to doing something. It's not, to us, it's not the end objective. It's there to facilitate other things. For example, doing renovations, buying cars, traveling, enjoying life.
So for someone that was thinking of starting in the market, what are maybe the top 3 tools you would suggest that they need?
Education, absolutely number one. Get in contact with a group so that you can share ideas and learn from them, or an organisation where you can share. And I would also suggest having a really good think from a risk perspective as to how you're going to manage your affairs when the market turns down, because it's great when things are going up, but you have to have a good plan for what you're going to do when the market turns down.
So there we have it, guys. An incredible 2024, backing up on 2023 and probably decades of great results prior to that. Consistency, process, discipline, teamwork, just some of the major points from the year in your trading. Once again, on behalf of the whole team at Australian Investment Education, congratulations, Stuart and Jill Garrett, 2024 Australian Investment Education Traders of the Year. Great effort, guys. Well done. Great.
Thank you so much. We're very humbled to be here today.
There's a lot to unpack in that conversation. Getting started early, having discipline, having process, making sure you don't bring emotion to the table, and most importantly, being consistent. What I love more than anything about our winners, Stuart and Jill Garrett, this year is the teamwork, how they've been able to achieve their financial goals as a couple to continue enjoying a lifestyle that they truly deserve. Massive congratulations at 2024 Traders of the Year, Stuart and Jill Garrett.